the snake, but I meant to cut the head of the snake. So my special will no longer be in Philly. It'll be in New York at the Barclays, where I cut off the head of Chris Rock. I do not know why the Bible says that Satan would pick on you.
I am in the production business. I understand what is worth doing for rating.
The whirlwind of conspiracy and comedy has kept the social media buzzing in the recent days, and the big question that's still in everybody's lips, could there be something bigger and sinister behind that slap that Will Smith gave Chris Rock at the Oscars? Well, some people like Katt Williams definitely think so. And the comedian is now accusing Chris of selling his black soul for fame. Well, let's dive into the details of this story. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Celeb Live channel. So ever since that infamous episode of the Oscars when comedian Chris Rock suffered from the mighty hand of Will Smith, we all believe he was just an innocent victim. However, Katt Williams is among the very few people who don't believe this story, and he's now trying to expose Chris's connections to Hollywood's shady date.
And so the fact that he was blatantly disrespecting the law that we all follow.
Now our dear old friend Katt Williams, who's never shy with his words, he's been saying some things. He's talking about how Chris Rock might done some soul selling for that fame and fortune he's enjoying now. And if you read between the lines of Chris Rock's jokes, you might just catch a whiff of truth. Because you can see how Rock's reputation has rapidly elevated after that Oscar slap. But let's not get ahead of ourselves and rewind a bit to March 2020. If you remember, Chris Rock has his moment of glory in his Netflix special Selective Outrage, and well, he just served up the juicy bits about getting slapped by Will Smith at the Oscars.
You know, anybody that says words hurt has never been punched in the face.
And yet, there was more to the party than just that Smith dramatic hit. While everyone was so focused on Chris's jokes about the black and men star, Mr. Rock also spilled some shady details of his connections to Illuminati. At first, everything looked kinda innocent when Chris Rock talked on taking his daughters to Disney parks, and who can blame him, right? But let me tell you, since he's a big shot comedian, his family don't do Disney like regular folks. Oh no, they're rolling with what he himself calls the Illuminati package.
You used to take them to Disney all the time, right? But I ain't take them like normal people, no. That's right, we went on.
Now, what in the world is the Illuminati package? Well, guys, that's the million-dollar question. There have always been talk about the existence of Hollywood's secret society, and Katt Williams himself spoke about that millions of times, trying to bring people's attention to this matter. Well, if you decipher Rock's jokes, it all solves the mystery of the Oscars slap and the Illuminati package. It's a Hollywood roller coaster where Chris Rock is holding on to his dear life and fame, and that's how he got his publicity, through that infamous slap. Ever since that episode, the talk about Chris Rock belonging to the show business secret society began swirling in the halls of Hollywood. While there were some wild theories, most people agreed that Will Smith's act was a straight breachment of all rules and codes of behavior, and only a few folks, like Katt Williams, paid attention to, might be lurking underneath this story, agreeing with those who have been trying to prove that the whole thing was staged. While the whole episode looked quite obvious or ordinary people, Chris Rock's had some mean stuff about Will Smith's wife Jada, and apparently hurt her feeling with his insensitive joke. So the Men in Black actor jumped to his spouse's protection.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it, all right?
Now here's where the story gets really juicy. Some folks are whispering about this whole Oscars thing being a staged operation put together by none other than the Illuminati. Yeah, guys, you heard me right, the Illuminati, that secret society folks love to whisper about. Now Katt Williams claims that both Will and Chris are senior members of the secret group of elites, and they've been pulling the strings all along.
This is collaborative. So when Will Smith speaks, Will Smith is not the giant that he is.
These conspiracy theorists, they've been looking for clues, and they found them, or so they say. They're talking about the program books at the Oscars showing the Oscar statuette in a triangle, calling it an Illuminati symbol. Then there's the backdrops on stage full of triangles again, and don't get me started on the craft service area backstage loaded up with extreme flaming hot Cheetos, supposedly the Illuminati's official snack. Looks like the secret society left their fingerprints everywhere apparent. Lee, as Katt now says, Will Smith's acting career is his official cover, but in fact he's a double agent in Hollywood who's been controlled by the Illuminati and Jada Pinkett. Oh, she's his controller for sure. They even point to the moment when Will went from laughing at Chris's joke to stomping to the stage like a duelist with a twisty mustache because, well, his controller sent him to attack Chris.
300 corporations that are a part of the Will Smith business operation. That is the $20 million a movie mega.
All looks like one devious plan of the Illuminati to bring black people down and remind them who's in charge of everything that's happening in Hollywood. It's what Katt Williams called selling your soul. And while it may take some time to connect all dots in a story, several fans already cracked that enigma. And they fully agree with Katt, as one person commented, no one was checking for Chris Rock before the slap. He wasn't even doing shows. Now he's everywhere. And another user added, now Chris Rock had a Netflix stand-up. And as Katt said, it's not the first time when the Illuminati tried to pull the strings, and they already ruined the lives of dozens of honest black people. You remember what another comedian, Dave Chappelle, said about those secret societies and how they control celebrities.
I've heard the stories of what happens, and I've seen these kinds of things play out in front of me.
Well, that's what just before Dave packed his bags and escaped to Africa, where he remained hidden from all the secret societies for several years without even telling his wife where he was going. Apparently, this is the kind of power those elites have on celebs. But let's get back to our story. And you know, guys, there are actually many giveaways on why Chris Rock could be another victim of shady elites. Some people reckon Will Smith knew exactly what he was doing. I mean, let's talk about that slap, fan. We're saying it was softer than a kitten's purr, and Will barely touched Chris Rock. Some angles even show the two stars didn't even have physical contact at the moment of slap. And you remember what Chris did after he just laughed it off, kept his hands in his pockets like he was waiting for a bus.
Oh, wow. Wow.
There's a belief in Katt Williams fully supports this theory that this whole thing was cooked up by the Illuminati to distract people's attention and continue their shady endeavors behind people's backs. And while social media users were sending each other funny memes for the entire week, somewhere deep, the world order has been changed again thanks to that publicity stunt.
If you were gonna slap a comedian, he was the number one. And if you gonna slap him, you just need the greatest guy.
Then later in 2019, Chris again became in the middle of crossfires when took to his Instagram page to share a seemingly innocent meme that included a picture of Whitney Houston. Could have been funny if in the end Chris hadn't mentioned some prohibited substances, which was quite a sensitive topic for the late singer and her family. The comedian got blasted by Whitney's fans, and even her husband Bobby Brown, who wrote, during this time of women empowerment, you chose to use your time to try and humiliate our queen. I thought you was a friend of the family. After all that controversy, you may be wondering why the heck he wasn't canceled yet. Well, as Katt Williams believes Chris's sinking reputation was saved by that Oscar slab, and since that moment things went smooth for him again. When things go smoothly, but they seem chaotic, that means there was forethought in a plan. So when you add it all up, you start to wonder if there's more to this story than meets the eye. Is Chris Rock just playing his part? Or is there something more mysterious going on now? That's a question for the ages, and fans have a lot to say. As one person commented, and they say Katt Williams is crazy. That's what they usually say when you speak the truth. And another user added, this makes the most sense, but so many people still don't or won't know what's really going on. And that's the reality. Well, it seems like the Hollywood is infested with the industry puppets, and only a few brave people dare to speak against the show business. There's atrocities. And what do you think about this, guys? Is Chris Rock another agent of the Hollywood elites? And was that Oscar slap staged to give his career a real boost? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to check my other videos. Well, that's it for now. Thanks for watching.